Please subscribe, rate and follow. And don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube or you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Right, welcome back to Married Up. No. No.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome back to Divorce, Beheaded, Thrived, where we will be discussing lots of things.
We shall.
That. Got me a little scarf on. I look like a sailor. I got it in Amsterdam.
Do you know what I've realised you also look like then? A scout leader. Where's your badges?
You know what? That one stings, actually.
Does it?
Yeah, that one
You used
stings.
to be in the Scouts.
Like I was good, yeah.
Yeah.
And I read the bed. We went camping and I woke in the middle of the night and I'd read the bed and I was crying. And I went and sat in the toilet for ages and I was really sad.
Oh, I went to Scouts when they let the girls in because I was always with the boys. So I liked, when they were like, oh, you don't have to do brownies, you could do Scouts. I was like, yes.
So being a little gay kid, I hated going to PE.
Really?
So my teacher was like, he could see that I was struggling, Mr. McCormack, if you're out there. 10, Mr. McCormack.
Shout out.
Everyone used to laugh at him because he used to go in the sunbed, but you know what? He was fit though. He was fit. And he was like, you can go with the girls. So then I went with the naughty girls who were sent into the gym and we used to throw dumbbells onto the little trampoline and see who could make the highest dent in the wall.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
School life, kids.
Oh my God.
Education counts. So, unlike last week's podcast, which was wild and hectic, because we would just dive in, let's just do it. And we've decided to put a structure in. So we are going with divorced, beheaded, thrived.
Divorced is like, you can do without it, but it's not gonna kill you. Yeah. Beheaded is like, get the fuck out of here.
Got a few of them.
Adrian is in mine this week. Guess where he is now?
Because I haven't been pressing go on the record.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know now that you're not going to get your badge for tech in the Scouts.
Right, so she's pissed me off about my scarf now.
It is cute.
But yeah, let's kick off with your week. How's it been?
Good, yeah. I mean, not as exciting as yours. Haven't been to Amsterdam, but it's been good. I've eaten some good food this week. Took a trip to London. What else have I been doing? Yeah, that's probably it, really.
Stunning. Well, I've had a great week. Yeah, went to Amsterdam, 48 hours in the dam. So, on the first day, what did I do? Went to the Sex Museum, loved that. And then went to Beyonce. On the final night, went to Beyonce. And it was we also went to the gay village in Amsterdam as well. And you know what? It was like a gay strip, a gay street. I think it's quite new as well. Like this woman told me about it and she was like, now we have a gay strip.
How does it compare to Manchester? Canal Street versus...
Much smaller, like 7 or 8 bars stretched on both sides. But it was amazing. I loved it. And everyone was in the street because it was so warm.
Oh, see, I love that. I love that vibe.
So everyone was just in the street and it was gorgeous. I loved it. So yeah, really, really rated Amsterdam. I've never been before. The architecture was amazing. Like all of the buildings, and they're all different colours and they're all really thin and they've got these big hooks on top that come out. And I asked this lady and she said it's like a pulley thing to put your furniture through the windows.
Is it really? I thought people were like abseiling down the buildings or something for some reason.
No, so you can put the bed down.
That's cool. Yeah. So I've never been to Amsterdam. I really want to go, but every time you say Amsterdam, in my head I go Amsterdam. And do you know what that's from? My dad wrote a porno. Do you remember that? Have you heard that?
Yeah. I love it. Love it. That was the first podcast I actually ever listened to.
I think it was one of the first that I really got into.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It was brilliant. I feel like I want to re-listen to it. I don't think I ever finished it.
I didn't finish it. I did the first season.
I think I did more than one season. If you're listening, I hope there's people listening. Listeners, listen to it.
It's really good.
After ours, though. Listen to us first.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was that. So honestly, dare I say it, right? I am not a crazy Beyonce fan, okay?
Right.
I just never have been.
Yeah.
I was a crazy Destiny's Child fan.
Okay.
But not necessarily, Kelly Rowland had a good time when I was like a late teen as well. But I've never been a crazy Beyonce fan, like the Crazy in Love time, winner.
Yeah.
But then it got a bit heavier and I just never really rolled with it. That concert, within 5 minutes, I was in floods of tears.
I bet. An experience more than anything. I bet it's so immersive. I can imagine. I mean, I wish I'd gone to one of them. I'm not going at all, but now I've seen the videos and stuff.
It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I was like overwhelmed after 5 minutes. And I read this thing because I can go into a hole of like the Illuminati and all that sort of thing. And this one website was saying how Beyonce is what are those like the mermaids that used to sing people into the ocean? They used to sing the sailors to come into the ocean and then they kill them. There's a name for them.
Like Ursula in The Little Mermaid?
Kind of. But at
least I watched that recently, and they say that mermaids lure you. They say that in the film that they lure them.
Yeah, and they have like singing voices, and they bring like it's in ancient history, and they would bring like the sailors, like a myth. They would bring the sailors to the ocean, and then they would die in the ocean because they were all.
That's what they talk about in the new. In the
siren. A siren. It's called a siren, and they're beautiful, and they have these like mesmerizing voices, which would like hypnotize you into the ocean. And I was literally sat there thinking, she could sing me off a cliff. She could sing me off a cliff.
Yeah, see, because I'm not a massive. I do really like Beyonce, but I'm not a huge fan.
No.
Like I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't know all the songs and things. Obviously, I think she's incredibly talented, and I love listening to her music. But I'm not like. Is there anyone that you like that with?
Do you know what? I've just never been a person for favourites.
Yeah.
I find it constrictive. I don't want a favourite food because I like lots. I don't want a favourite wine. I like lots. I don't want a favourite position because I like...
So you've never been a super fan?
I've never been a crazy fan of Beyonce. I've always respected her, but I've always found her a little bit overwhelming.
But of anyone, I mean. I've not either. But some people are.
When I was a kid...
Oh, see?
Steps.
Okay.
Steps were my number one. But when I was a kid, take that.
Really?
Take that, like, honestly. And do you know what? Like, the other day, because they've just released a movie musical. And the other day, I was watching the TV and, like, the bit came up about their new movie. And they played some of the old videos and they played Everything's Changing But You. And Robbie Williams in that video, like, he still makes me blush. But when I was a kid, here's a cute story for you, right?
Okay.
So you would go and get the Smash Hits magazine, it would have all the stickers on it. And my friend Dawn pulled out her magazine and was like, Adrian, this sticker is for you. And it said, I heart Mark Owen, because I was like, everyone knew I was a Take That obsessive. And so I stuck the sticker onto my reading folder, took my reading folder home, didn't think anything of it. My mum called me down. I'm a kid now. I'm learning to read. I have a reading folder. So I don't know how old that would make me. But like 5, 6?
Oh, gosh.
6, 7, 8, something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. I think I was in like year 4 or 5.
Yeah, okay. Maybe like 8, a little bit like 9, 10 or, yeah.
So my mum calls me downstairs and she's like, Adrian? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, see this ticket that says, I love Mark Owen? And I'm like, yeah. And I know what's coming. I can feel it as a child. And she's like, do you like love him like a friend? Or do you love him like you fancy him? And I was like, no, Mum. Of course I don't fancy him. I love him like a friend. And she's like, oh, okay. And I remember I walked out and I sat on the stairs outside and I was like, because I was so stressed out. I would get the CD cover and you would take out the booklet from the CD cover and then the picture of Mark Owen, I turned it to that and I would put it underneath my pillow and I would give him a kiss every night. I was like, literally, I was in love with him. Like, I would be...
Stop.
I was obsessed. Like, I'm sweating now.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
So, yeah, mega fan. Mega. Like, I feel like I'm blushing right now.
But how would you be if you met him now? Have got a surprise for you, Adrian.
Oh!
I'm in.
I would love that. No, I think I'd have a breakdown.
That story, that's cute though. She knew, your mum knew. Or did she not?
I think it got a bit confusing over time, to be honest. No, she was, like, I remember her saying, like, I don't understand how anyone would be able to tell you're gay. I'm like, probably my tap shoes.
I mean, boys can dance, come on.
Yeah, I know, but they don't have pictures of steps all over their bedroom wall. I'm not stereotyping anyone, but I ticked a few boxes, to be fair.
Yeah, more than a few. No, that's fair. I've never been a super fan. I think the first... I was in the whole Twilight thing. The Edward versus Jacob, and I couldn't work out which one I fancied more. That was a big thing when I was younger.
Jacob.
Yeah, I think he was...
And then I read the book.
I read the books first. I was obsessed with the books.
So I read the book.
Oh, and then you changed your mind.
He's a much sexier character in the book. In the movies...
Jacob is.
No.
Edward. Yes.
Is wet.
Well, he's so idolised in the books. He's like,
But he's not wet. The character's not wet.
No.
Or like brooding and pathetic.
Yes. Yeah.
Where in the movies, he is a bit.
And Alex Pettifer, that was my first fancy.
Not that I'm saying that I wouldn't love a little date with, what's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Is he in Batman? Yeah, I've not seen
it's
that.
The new
one.
Batman. It's the latest Batman.
He's the new Batman. Interesting choice. Is it? Yeah, Alex Pettifer in Wild Child. What a film.
Never seen it.
Oh my God, we have to watch it. So, right.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I fancied Alex Pettifer, right? But my brother fancied Emma Roberts more. So he used to watch it like every single night. I think that's the first girl that he really fancied.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen him for years. What
he was
in?
I have a few different types, but if you said like that, but actually I think I prefer dark hair. But when I was younger, but Wild Child, God, my brother and I would watch it all the time because my brother really fancied Emma Roberts as well. I learned the choreography to when they do their hockey winning dance thing.
Is he married?
Oh, I hope not. No.
Is he married?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about
Alex
it now, but it was the
Pettifer,
first one, you know.
Partner. Oh, Tony gone. He's taken kids.
So we've decided to segment our podcast based on the title Divorced, Beheaded, Thrive.
Yes. So divorced will essentially be like an ick.
So go on then, kick us off. Divorced. What's your icky ick?
So I was listening to the Therapy Crouch the other day, which, if you haven't listened, great podcast. Abby Clancy and Peter Crouch did their icks, and she brought up those tiny little white socks. The tiny little ones that like...
Not these ones.
I mean, they're not great.
I've been walking around bare feet.
They're not great because I like a full sock. But like when she said it, I was like, oh my gosh, the amount of times I've been flicking through Tinder and they've had those tiny little socks on and I'm like nah.
They're called pop socks.
Absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry. No. Unacceptable. You're a disgrace.
So how bad are we talking? Like if you were sort of seeing a guy, whatever, he took his shoes off and you saw the pop sock.
So that's why I don't need divorce.
Yeah.
Okay? Because like going through a Tinder profile, I'd be like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But if someone that I already really liked did wear them, I would probably ask them not to. But I wouldn't be like, you're gone.
Okay. What about no socks at all with shoes?
No, why? No, it's very
Loads
stressful.
of guys do that, especially with boat shoes and stuff.
Yeah, they do.
No, I know they do.
I've got boat shoes on right now. With socks. A full, healthy sock. I think the vile, like, they need to go. Like, let go. Like, I blame the stockists. Like, you need to stop buying it. Do not accept this. It's not okay. You need rid of them. Get them out of your store. Absolutely. Put them in the bin.
My divorce is... There's two parts to this. So, like, okay, when you go for food... I love going for food, right? You're perusing the menu. You've chosen what you wanted. I like sharing food. I'm happy to share. I love to taste as much as I can. Yeah. I don't want to be stuck to one dish.
On the cruise.
Oh my God.
Constantly.
All the food, literally. Waiter comes over. You finally decided after you've sent them away 2 times. They go, oh, we don't have that in stock. We've run out of that. You did not think I was going to say that.
I thought you were going to say when like, oh, so you've decided that you're going to get the fajitas and then I'm going to get the fajitas.
Well,
like,
I'd hope that
menu
wouldn't
copying.
Yeah, but I'd hope that wouldn't happen because you'd have already spoken about it. But in my family, as a kid, I was never allowed the same thing as my brother, ever. My dad would never let us. We all had to have different food, always. All the same food when we were at home, not even different pasta. But if we were out, we were not allowed to have the same food because it was like, try something different. And no, you're not having... But obviously, when you're young as well, you don't... I had a good palate, but obviously there's certain things you don't want. But also, sometimes something sounds unreal and you want that. Nope, not allowed. And then my brother wouldn't share it with me. So, you know. Anyway, moving on from that one. Yeah, and they tell you they don't have it anymore. When you've already spoken to the waiter possibly 3-4 times to get drinks orders and things like that, and they don't say it. Yeah. It really, really frustrates me.
And like they'll walk away, won't they? They'll take your order, they'll walk away and they'll come back and then they'll sorry, we don't. And you know it's coming as they're walking over. You can see it.
You're already tasting it in your mouth. I can't stand it. It's very annoying. So that. The other thing is when they don't tell you that there is a fucking ridiculous wait on the food. I waited an hour for my pizza the other night. An hour. What, an hour? Like that, I was ravenous. Also, when I'm not anticipating it's going to take that long, I go for food because I'm hungry, not because I want to sit there and, fuck about for an hour.
You were fuming about that pizza, like.
Yeah.
You looked absolutely.
No, look, right, can I just caveat this? Obviously, these are very first world problems. Like, come on. Also, though, it's highly frustrating. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah, it's fuming. It's very upsetting. But you know what else I don't like? When they then bring the food 2 seconds after you've ordered, and I'm like, why? Where did you make that? Magic band? No.
Yeah.
No, microwave land? No,
yes,
no.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't love that either. So that is, good icks. Good divorced. So those 2, 3, 4, 5, divorced. Moving on to Beheaded. Did we do that at the same time?
Yeah, we did.
Wasn't planned. Okay, so what are you beheading this month?
Well, it's a bit more serious, but I think it needs to be voiced. Well, it's been voiced by a lot of people. The Conservative Party on the 14th of December 2020, my brother's birthday, would you believe? That they had, the videos that have come out about the party they had. It's fucking despicable, to be honest.
No, when I was in Amsterdam, I was on the train and the video came up of the woman who called.
Oh, it really pains me. No, I listened to it. I was crying my eyes out. The woman that I think did she call into a radio station? She spoke.
And she said her daughter was distressed and the police were going to go and check and they didn't check. And then she called back. And then their daughter, God rest her soul, and God bless those people. And I'm not religious, and people saying God, but you know what I mean.
It's hard to know what to say in these scenarios because it is just that awful. But it was hard to listen to, and it happened to so many families.
It's really easy to be insular. If you were in that party, you'd be like, "Oh, it's not harming anyone." But when you're the one who's put all those rules in place, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying though? Like you can, I'd imagine everyone at some point broke a rule. I think everyone did in one way or another. Me and my friends used to sit in his garden and drink wine. I remember going round to the back of his house.
Yeah, but I mean, these things are very, these are negligible compared to, I think that you've hit the nail on the head there. The people that are creating and enforcing these rules and standing in front of us at 6 p.m. every single evening. And saying, you need to do this, in the fear that we all had.
Petrified.
It was petrifying. God, I was so scared. I really tried to stick to the rules. Granted, we had a tiny bubble that was very few of us, but...
And Christmas.
I remember being so upset that all of our plans got cancelled at Christmas. I couldn't see any of my family. And it was awful. It was an awful time for so many people. And then
all of it seems absolutely nothing compared to that poor woman.
Oh, God, I can't even... And the fact that, there was 24 people at that party. And the fact that in the film, they say, oh, why are you filming? As long as we don't say that we're bending the rules. So you know exactly what you did.
Well, they knew. They were the ones on the TV every single day going on about these rules. No one was even clear on the rules, but we were clear to not do that. It was clear as day. Like, it's just disgusting. Like the what's the word? The privilege.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you are not more privileged than me.
No, exactly. And when you hear a story, obviously, like that woman that was talking about her family, it's just So I'm absolutely...
And fucking Rishi Sunak this week with the trans jokes. Fuck off, mate. Like, honestly, these people, you are not above the law. You are not above me. I've always said, like, anyone in my life that I ever meet. So I worked in a store when I was in drama school years ago called Liberty. It's such an expensive store. And people will be like, oh my gosh, these celebrities you meet. Like, and I'm talking like A-list,
highbrow
Hollywood movie star people. But I would be like, I treat every single person that I meet exactly the same.
Yeah.
Same. I don't care. I don't even care if it's, the Queen, the King, anyone. I'll treat you and give you the exact same respect that you give me. Like, end of. But I don't care if you're a multi-millionaire. I don't care if you're a politician. No. I don't care whatsoever. Like,
It's how I think it's how out of touch these people are. That's what's unbelievable sometimes. But yeah, the government at the moment, or not at the moment, I mean all the time, but
how you can, in your own conscious state, go onto live television and then, after doing that, after seeing so many people hurting, so many people in pain, so many people die, to then go, we're going to have a little party. I could, like, if that was me, I know.
The guilt of it. The guilt of it. I don't think I'd be able to even
sleep.
Like go to it. I'd be like, oh no, I'm all right, thanks.
I might want to. 100%. Do you know what? I tell you what, I would want to. I would want to. But I wouldn't do it.
The guilt of it, I just can't. And years later, obviously, this is the thing. We're still, obviously talking about it, and these stories are coming out. I mean, it's just never going to end. And I just think it's horrific, and it just, obviously, all trust really is just completely destroyed. How are you supposed to even begin
in this fucking government? Like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do? This is the other thing. Like, where does this leave us? Like,
who are you voting for? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and who, if anything like that happened again, who the F is going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to follow their rules? I mean, it's completely done now. If anything happened again and they said, right, you all need to stay inside, who's going to do that? Who?
Yeah, it's
realistically. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I just mean there's so many people that are going to be like, absolutely not. And then
you can't, and then you sort of like, people really started to like Rishi, and then he starts fucking making jokes about fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely. That's horrific.
Idiot.
It is. That's so out of touch.
Like, why would the people who are leading the country, why are we so consistently disappointed? Do you know what I always think? Why don't you have a fucking better PR person? Why don't you have a better person to say, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't think you should say that. I don't think you should do that. I don't think that's a good decision for you to make, you fucking idiot. No, it fucks me off. I'm actually trying to pull back because the amount winds.
No, it does. It does, and it's
disgusting, privileged. Fuck off. Fucking shove your stupid government up your arse.
And that is why I'm beheading them, as you can see.
Yeah, do you know what? Behead the fucking lot of them. Then they won't be the first politicians to literally have been beheaded. So, you know what? Bring that fucking law back, Boris, Rishi, whoever the fuck else.
Yeah.
Someone's had a wine.
Yeah.
I
mean, this was my beheaded, but also I think it's going to be a lot of. It
takes me back to COVID when this was a huge conversation. They were the celebrities of the time, weren't they? Like, the politicians were more famous than anyone else.
That's such a good point.
They were.
So why were they doing stupid stuff like that? Like, we know that we shouldn't do certain things in the public eye and whatever. Why the F don't they take on this information?
They're fucking idiots. And they're privileged. That's it. Privileged. You think you're over. You think you're above everyone else. You're not fucking above me. You're not above anyone. You're not above no one. Everyone has a different purpose in life, a different journey in life. I firmly believe you should never judge anyone. Do not put yourself above anyone because you don't know what the fuck they've been through, what the fuck they're currently going through. Yeah, we need to move on because I
was going to say,
raging.
Well, now you've got your beheaded, so I hope it's nothing to...
My beheaded, I've got it. My beheaded is my truth, right? Hear me out. This shit pisses me off like no end. I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just telling my truth. My truth, I find, usually, when people say my truth, it usually is going to hurt someone else. It's usually very one-sided, and it's usually different from the truth.
Yeah, it is. It's an excuse.
I understand perception. I understand that just because you don't necessarily see how it affected me, that doesn't mean that that's not real and you're not responsible.
Yeah.
I understand all these things, but there is a fucking difference between my truth when your truth only usually includes your facts.
Yes.
Not the other person's facts.
Yes.
It's usually intended to annihilate someone else. It's never fucking pleasant. I've never heard anyone in my life saying, this is my truth. And it was nice.
Yeah.
Like, why do people want to be? Like, the amount of times, like, I have had some severe fallouts with people, and I've gone, yeah, but I understand why they did that. Or I've said, I can see that. I don't like it, but I can see it. I do understand your point, or I can see why that happened. I try to give as much as a wide...
holistic. I try and be as diplomatic as possible.
Holistic. I think that's right. I try to be as holistic as possible. I try to understand things, even when people have really upset me and I've gone, I don't want to continue that friendship anymore, which actually, as I get older, I find is very...
More common,
No, valid.
Oh, yes.
Valid.
Yes.
I think it's valid to say, actually, at the moment...
Keep your circle tight.
Yeah, it's just about saying, do you know what, actually, I think it's time that we put this to a close. I've even had a point where I've gone, this has been lovely, but there's been a few too many spikes that I don't want. I'm back to it, because I digress. Your truth... Probably not as solid as the truth.
The truth, yes, I agree, and I do think it is. It's that excuse.
I swear, and I'm wound up suddenly. I'm really twisted right now. Like I feel annoyed.
At least we're gonna like.
It's the COVID shit.
Yeah,
it was too much because I lived by myself for COVID.
I did in my flat in Manchester, and I had a job,
and it was hard,
really hard at the time. I had an 8 a.m. meeting in the morning and I had a 4:30 catch up in the afternoon. I sat in front of my window and looked at the building opposite. No natural light in that flat. The sun didn't come round. I was by myself. And then I had a boyfriend for about 8 months and we split and it was really sad. And I was completely by myself for a bit. And I couldn't go home because we had no internet on the farm. I know people had it.
That sounded quite funny.
No, but okay, we had internet.
No internet on the phone.
No, we had internet, right? But only enough, if my brother wanted to do anything, I couldn't go home and work for the day because then no one else could use the internet.
Yeah.
Which was, was a bit selfish of me. But that meant I couldn't go home. I couldn't work. I was working full time. I was in, a job where I was, not enjoying. I had friends that were either furloughed or finished at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and stuff. That was never me. All those people that say what a lovely summer 2020 was, I never got any of that.
That really wound me the fuck up. Anyway, we go back to that.
We digress.
We digress all over the shop.
We finished our Beheaded. Now onto the positive vibes. I've realised that compared to all the other stuff, mine's so...
I feel like I need to reconsider my
What was yours?
Well, I was going to say Beyonce, but I feel like I've done that.
Do you know what mine was? My Dyson fan. And now I'm not sure that that's quite...
I wish it was on right now.
I know. To be fair, though, it's been a lifesaver.
Moving on. Thrived. What did we thrive about? I gotta say, my focus at the moment has been travel so much. Even just going to Amsterdam for 2 days really kicked me in to go, what am I doing this summer? So I go away every summer.
You are a little traveller.
Little nomad.
You love it. And you're good as a solo traveller. I can see that.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's my favourite thing. I went the summer before COVID. I went to Amsterdam. No, I never.
Amsterdam.
Every
time.
I never went to Amsterdam.
No, you didn't.
This week I went to Amsterdam. I went to Thailand and Vietnam and I did 8 weeks there. And you know what? I remember thinking, oh my gosh, 8 weeks is such a long trip. And then after 2 minutes of being there, I was oh, wow. I have no time. There's no time. There's not enough time because you sort of get very used to looking at maps while you're traveling around because you make no plan. Well, I made no plans. I booked the first 2 nights in a hostel in Bangkok where I flew into, and then that was it. I made no plans after that. So I just went with the flow, and that was amazing. I was literally just in some bar in Chiang Mai in North Thailand. And these girls were like, do you want to come to Vietnam with us tomorrow? And I was like, no, I'm busy. And then they got me a couple of shots and they were like, book your flight. And I was like, all right, babe. And then I was there and I just went. It was amazing. And I loved Vietnam. Obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with Vietnam. I want to go back. But I'm also there's more places to go. Yeah,
see, I bet there's so many places where you're you want to go back, but equally you want to go somewhere new.
I feel like if I went again, I would try my best to just keep on going.
I need to solo travel is what I need to do.
Duo travel.
Well, duo travel.
Because I've said to Sophie that I want to go over to Asia again.
And I'd love to go.
Next month. And she wants to go.
I think I'd be fine. I'd speak to people and stuff.
You wouldn't be fine. You would thrive. You would thrive. You would thrive.
No, I would. Of course I would. I'd be fine.
Thrive.
I'd love it.
It's the best. It's the most phenomenal.
Every time we talk about it, right, I'm like, why am I not aware? Why not just go away? Like literally, why am I not somewhere else?
It's so in my brain. So we did the cruise recently. We think that we might be doing another one.
Yes.
So excited. We cannot wait to do that. Different one this time.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. There's also, like, we were discussing loads of options, like, because we really want to do some, like, travel content. So we were like, what about a safari? Like, so exciting. So maybe we'll do a safari, but, like, just want to go away. Like,
I think the thing is, I think I'm a quite well-rounded person and, like, culturally and things. However, if you actually look at the destinations and things like that, like there's so many more places for me to see, and it's not for lack of wanting to,
but also
it's just doing it, isn't it?
It's also like doing that sort of like backpacky traveling. It's just, I promise you, like, that's the thing with me. Like, I've stayed in some of the best hotels in the world, but I've also stayed in £5 hostels, and I would never change either trips. They're different trips. Different experiences. Phenomenal.
I could definitely do it. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not high maintenance at all. I could go with no makeup and probably the same dress or shorts for like, I'm not bothered. But
100%.
Obviously,
take that Dyson thing though in your hair.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Like, you'd sacrifice
everything else for the Dyson. It's a weave. But
It's a weave.
It's a weave.
It is a weave.
It is a weave. I talk about that. I lost loads of my hair. No, COVID. My thrived this week, guys, is taking time out and taking a break and going home. I went home.
I want one of them.
Yeah, so I went home for a few days. Both of my cousins have just had new babies, and I've missed the newborn stage. Like, it was incredible, but like, it really puts it into perspective, you know, because I live here in Manchester, have done for over 6 years now, and so, you know, my cousins have had, they're sort of 10 years older than me because my parents are a bit older, so like they've got their kids and stuff, and it's hard because it's like when I go back, you know. Especially if they have new babies, but oh my goodness, it's just, holding them like, this is the life. Yeah, it was very cute. But I just feel like sometimes you just need that break. You really do. And
You've got to stop, which leads well into my thrived.
Yeah, it does.
We're going to Asia. Are we going to Asia? Are we betting on it? Are we live pod betting on we're going to Asia?
I'd like to. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing it. Okay. See you in Asia. Podcast is going to be from Asia real soon. Book it. Why not?
No,
you'll never regret it.
No, I know that. Sometimes I'll do it. I'll do anything. I love a bit of a risk. I love that. I always do that.
Yeah.
You know, I do it in my life all the time. But sometimes
together.
I know. Sometimes I need a little push.
I can give you one.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah, push me right over the edge.
Well, she pushed me in the pool.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Funny though.
It was funny though. It was
funny.
Hilarious.
You most liked when I'm walking, squidging down the corridor on the ship, on the Virgin ship. There's a reel on my Instagram, and I'm like this, squidging down the corridor, soaking wet. She loved it.
It was so funny. We knocked on my bedroom as well because my mum was just chilling, and we were like, Kim. My mum came out the room. She was like, "It's wet here." I was like, "Yeah, because it's literally dripping into the floor." Honestly,
that was so good. Right, so that was it, guys. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe.
Please also follow Thrived Pod. Send us any DMs you want to, any topics you want us to cover, any questions that you have.
Please do. We'd love that. Other than that, have yourself the most amazing week. I hope you find so much thrived.
Yes.
And you know what? If you're too scared to behead it, divorce it, and then when it gets too much... we didn't plan that one either.
See you next week. Bye.